Presenting today, Dave Budding from Trimble Forestry and Stephen Stewart from Landmark Spatial Solutions, telling us about Trimble Forestry's CFX solution. I'll turn it over to you, Dave.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we'd like to present, Do You Know What You Earned Today? Use Trimble Forestry's Connected Forest Exchange to find out. Our agenda. What is Connected Forest Exchange, or as we like to call it, CFX? How does CFX work? And what are the benefits to you? So what is CFX? CFX is our solution to provide you near real-time load and scale weight ticket data. It's made up of two parts, a mobile app used in the field by loaders and truck drivers, and a web portal that allows you to securely view your load trip ticket and scale ticket data anywhere you can get an internet connection. Mobile app users download the app from the App Store or the Play Store to their iOS or Android devices. Loader operators enter load trip tickets in the woods, and this works online or offline, and then the data syncs up to the cloud when users are in cell or Wi-Fi coverage. You can view the load and scale data as soon as it syncs via the CFX web portal. You can share data with your supply chain partners, including landowners, loggers, haulers, and mills. You can view the origin and destination of loads on a map, create personalized data views, and export load data for easier accounting. CFX also integrates with Trimble Forestry CF Business Settlement System, LIMS. So how does CFX work? It all starts in the woods with the loader operator entering a trip ticket into the mobile app. Once completed, there are several options for getting the data to a truck driver. You can print hard copy tickets to a rugged mobile printer. We include all the necessary data on the ticket and can even include barcodes or QR codes to scan at mills or even scan the ticket to a driver's device. If you're in cell coverage, you can reassign the ticket from the loader's device to the driver's device. Cell coverage is tough in the woods, though, so we have a third option that works in offline situations using a Wi-Fi router and our send to device feature. The loader's device and the driver's device both join the Wi-Fi access point. It doesn't have an internet connection, but it will still allow the loader to send the ticket wirelessly to the driver's device. So once the truck driver has a trip ticket, they drive to the scale at the mill. During the trip, if the driver has the ticket on his or her device and a cell connection, it will sync to the cloud and the trip ticket data will become available on the CFX web portal. Once at the scale, drivers have several options. They can give the ticket to the scale operator. They can enter the ticket data as usual if it's an unattended scale, or we can work with you to set up QR codes to scan in the data into your scaling software if possible. The driver can also reassign the ticket to a scale operator if the scale operator also has the mobile app. Scale ticket weight data, also known as load tickets, also goes into CFX. We have several upload methods, including sending the data to a secure Trimble email address that automatically picks up and loads the ticket data. Or we can install software on your scale computer that sends the data to the portal every time a load is scaled. If you are a mill and are willing to send in load data, we will give you a free CFX contributor subscription. Our LIMS settlement system can also feed and receive data from CFX. So why do you care? What are the benefits of CFX? Well, if you're a forest owner, you now know how much wood was delivered from your land today and what you're owed. If you know the tons that cross the scale and your rate, you'll know today how much you're owed. You can prove where your wood came from now, from and where it was delivered. We record a GPS location at the beginning and at the end, and now you have load security. You can eliminate the cost of ticket books and actually read the data now, instead of trying to interpret handwritten data, and you don't have to buy land tickets anymore. In terms of contractors, if you're a contractor, no more handwritten tickets. You can go onto CFX and know today's production, and more importantly, you know what loads cross the scale and what you need to be paid for. In CFX, you can automatically reconcile load tickets with scale tickets. You're going to have less payment processing errors. And if you're a forester, you don't have to drive to every job to check log sheets and find out how many tickets there are, or even collect tickets. You can log into CFX and see how many loads were hauled. If you're a mill, you know exact location of where this load originated, and you can find the point on a map in CFX. So you now also have load security of load origination. You'll be able to read this ticket every time because it's digitally captured. You're not going to guess whether this is a saw log load or a pulp load or what species it's supposed to be because somebody wrote something in bad handwriting. You'll be able to see it. So you'll have less processing errors. And if you work with us, we can probably get the ticket to scan into your scaling system. If you have CFX in your scale house and the truckers have the load tickets and come in to sell, that data will sync up and you'll actually be able to see the loads in CFX that are coming to your mill. Important across all users is that you can export and import this data into your accounting system. So there's no more rekeying of ticket data. And also important, you can share this data with all your business partners in the supply chain to meet changing market demands faster. Last year in the US, loader operators entered over 175,000 tickets into CFX. So it's time to clean up the load sheet. We're moving you from the left to the right. So at this point, I'd like us to take a look at the real thing, and I'm going to hand it over to Stephen, and he's going to do a quick demo of the mobile app and CFX.
All right, thanks, David. Let's see. Can everybody see my screen here okay?
Yep, it's up.
All right. So this is the mobile app here. As you see, we have loads here on the screen. The little load here with the cloud check mark is a load that's already been completed. We'll get into, we can touch base on some of that later. To enter a load, we're going to hit the plus button down here at the bottom. It pulls up the next load. It automatically advances our numbers. Our for loads number here is a unique number that's in our system that is not going to be duplicated there. You have your contract. This can be a external security ticket number. We can use it as a load count as well. So here we're going to say it's going to go to Canfor Moultrie. It's going to be small pine logs, and let's say Stephen was the driver. That simple. We just entered a load, and all I had to do was tap here on these fields to access those drop-down menus. As you see, there's a GPS coordinate located right here, and now I'm going to hit the check mark in the upper right-hand corner, and we're going to sync that load to the server. So right now we've got the little arrows, and as soon as that disappears, the load will be available on the server for you to see. All right. So right now I'm going to switch over. There it goes. So I'm going to switch over to CFX. So we pull in our CFX here. We have widgets. So with these widgets, this allows you to monitor your production across multiple logging crews to vary by destination right here. So you can see it by each destination. You can mouse over these. It tells you how many loads went to each one across a given time frame. You can see how many loads each crew hauled today, this week. So if you're looking at quotas, if you've got a daily quota or a weekly quota, etc., you can monitor that here. You can monitor your crew production the same way. Crews by product, tickets by product and tickets by contract. You have loads by site. So this is going to be your mill feed. So you can see how many of the mill feeds have come in right here as well. So now we're going to go into and these are drill downable. So you can click on one of these and it'll pull up in a grid view for you to see. So now we're going to transition to our trip tickets grid view. And as David mentioned earlier, we can do some auto reconciliation here. So first thing I want to look at is we can go through here. You see all the different information for the various loads. The little green check marks over here means everything matched up. But this one up here, it didn't match. So we look at it and it says 28.37 does not equal 28.73. So as they were entering the ticket here, they just transposed two numbers. You can come in here very easily and correct that and come over here and hit save changes. At that point in time, you'll get the green check mark and you're good to go. Also, we could take pictures of these loaded log trucks, attach them, and you can see them here on the screen. Pull up a quick example of that. As well as pictures of tickets. So you can come in here and you can see, we've got a little magnifier here, so you can actually come in here and magnify and see what each ticket has. So that keeps you from having to collect those physical tickets before editing here. So if you have a picture of that, you can access that and review it as needed. All right, I'm going to flip over to some pivot grids. Just a basic pivot grid. This is crews and how their production for each day. So you can see how many loads each crew has gotten across this month in this example, and how many loads across multiple crews have you gotten on each day. So this could be beneficial to you as well, and you can adjust these parameters as needed. All right. And with that, David, I'm gonna kick it back to you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Let me just add in quickly, if you have any questions, you can use the chat box up in the northwest corner of your screen, and we'll get to questions in just a second, or now.
Yep, we're ready for Q&A now. Paige, do we have any questions?
Yeah, Dave or Stephen, I think that you edited that error and corrected it. Would you normally have validated that based on having a picture of the scale ticket, or can you track who makes changes just for security?
Both.
Yes.
You can add a column that says modified by, and it both has who will modify it and versions. And then I'll let Stephen speak to what typically users to enter amounts.
Yes. So typically, if you see something like that, there's a 99% chance that they just transpose two numbers there. When you get to having photos, there wasn't a photo for that particular load for the scale ticket, so I did not have a chance to reference that one. However, if there is a photo, you would definitely want to reference that. Or if you're wanting to go ahead and wait until you get the physical ticket in hand, you can do that as well. But when it's a simple transposing of numbers, oftentimes they just go ahead and make the correction there and go with what the mill feed says.
Right. Okay, thank you. And the second one relating to that would be, so it was transposed because someone had to manually enter that. Is there a gap we can close to make that an electronic feed?
So we do have the mill feeds coming in there, and we do have a way of being able to choose whether or not we're going to use the manually entered scale ticket data or the mill feed. Now, having both does help in case something ever happens and a mill feed, a mill feed goes down for some reason. But
right.
You have the ability to choose where that particular data comes from in exports there. So we have a lot of flexibility built in there, and also there are some possibilities of possibly scanning some stuff. Yeah, on that, as I think David alluded to earlier, scanning some of that stuff in on the on that scale side.
Yep, get it. Thanks.
Okay, we've got a question here about supply chain visibility. And can you talk to us a little bit about that and what that means for for us?
Well, supply chain visibility in terms of this reference is typically in this process, it takes weeks to get visibility through scale tickets at the weight site of what your tickets, what crossed the scale, because nobody in forestry gets paid until the wood crosses the scale. So you have tickets that get lost or stuck in trucks or stuck in loaders that are out in the woods, and it can take weeks typically to get visibility to what's actually crossed the scale and what productivity's been. Now you're able to get that data as soon as it syncs up. So whether a loader is syncing his data if he's offline all day and he syncs in the evening, you're still likely to get it faster then than you would be in the typical process. If you're giving it to truck drivers, it's going to be within just as soon as they get a cell signal. So now you have the ability to see what your production is and make adjustments today, not after the fact. And if your customers, a mill, understands how much wood they're getting, then they can actually change their requirements. If you're getting too much of a pulp and you need to switch to pine saw logs because that's what the market demands, you can now have the data to see your quotas, where you're at in that process, and switch quicker rather than waiting weeks. So you're moving more at the speed of the market. And then in turn, you can share this data with all your partners. So you can share it with your haulers, your loggers, your mills. So everybody's on the same page at the same time for what's been cut, what's been delivered, and how much.
Great. Okay, I've got another question here, maybe this one for you, Stephen, about timber security, and how does this help with timber security?
Okay. So as David mentioned earlier, we have the GPS coordinate of where that ticket originated, and obviously we have where it went. You can enter the driver, so you know who was the middleman there. So we're collecting all of that and getting it up to the cloud ASAP. There, as soon as there's some connection out there, you can see it remotely. So there's a lot less room for error at that point, or for someone to slip in and take a load and come back and say it was not that they had not taken it. So having that documented, now there's never anything that's going to be foolproof. However, the weakest link in all of this is typically going to be that truck driver scenario there. Having that, the truck driver turning that load in and doing as he's supposed to be. And with this, it allows you to have visibility of that before he even leaves the woods. So you already know he has the load and he is en route. So you know that he should, come back with a ticket at that point in time. David, is there anything you want to add on that?
No, I think the other thing we've added is there's times and date stamps on as well as the location that Stephen talked about. And then you can also take pictures as he's shown. That also helps provide a level of security of what was actually loaded.
Yes.
Okay, I've got another question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, as well as those load photos, having a picture of that truck attached to the load, that just is another level of you not just saying that Bob took that load. There's a picture of Bob's truck that with that load that is attached to that record. So it's just more evidence as we go there.
Okay, I've got another question here about the cost and the installation time, and just some clarification if this is for any size company to use, or is this mostly for big guys, or can you elaborate how this will, if this is right for our small company here?
Yes, absolutely. It's a great question. So our first customer for this was actually a logger with a single crew. So we deal with single contractors and companies all the way up to enterprise. We have bundled pricing that includes both CFX and mobile for contractors. We have it for enterprise mill-based customers. We have it for just big enterprises based on load count. We offer volume discounts as well. and we can sell it even to the individual CFX access to the individual loader. So it is intended for everybody in the supply chain, and we have pricing options for all of them.
Great. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. So let's wrap it up here. Yeah, let us know how we can get in touch with you so we can look at this solution for our operations here.
Yes, so please, if you would like some more information, or more importantly, set up a demo. Stephen and I set up demos for people all the time to try this out. You can contact Stephen in the Southeast at Landmark, or you can contact us here at Trimble Forestry. I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and let's log into the 21st century.
All right, thanks everybody. This concludes our webinar today.
Thank you, Paige.
Yeah, thank you, guys.